Hello and welcome to Hedgewitch Hearthcraft. I'm Caitlin Ringanen. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I'm going to be using tarot cards and oracle cards to get an idea of the energy for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, and how we can best navigate throughout or within those energies. I'm going to be pulling 2 cards for every sign of the Western Zodiac. The first card will be from the Albano Waite Tarot, and that will give us an idea of what we're going to be dealing with over the coming week. And the second card will be from the Siecle Kipper Oracle deck, or Fortune deck, and that will give us some advice on how to navigate throughout the energy of the week. At the very end, I will also be pulling a universal manifestation card. So if you choose to jump ahead to the cards that are pulled for your sign, try to also jump to the very end so that you can get a little bit of that extra goodness in your life for this week. Anyway, since it is still Capricorn season, let's go ahead and get started with our lovely Capricorns. Capricorn, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021 is the Four of Pentacles reversed. So this reversal creates a little bit of frustration in the financial world where your work is concerned, where your goals and your progress are concerned. You're holding on really tightly, trying to hold on to whatever is working, whatever is going well, because there is a strong sense that a lot isn't going the way you want it to. So you're trying most likely to cling to the things that help, which can be positive, but most likely will lead to treating things as a crutch instead of standing on your own, instead of allowing things to change. You would much rather things stay the same, stay comfortable, but sometimes progress needs to be a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit unsettling. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the main female card, which in the case of a typical Kipper reading would represent a querent being read for if they identify as feminine. So in this case, as an advice card, this asks you to sort of tap in a little bit to your more feminine, your more lunar energy, connect to the divine feminine energy, and also reach out to those kinds of people in your life right now. They can probably be of a little bit of support. As for connecting to stereotypically feminine qualities, that would be intuition, reception, nurturing, caring, the sense of not necessarily being passive, but not being the active driving force, kind of letting things be and just feeling how they are developing. Aquarius, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Five of Wands, which is a frustrating card. This indicates a clashing of energies and a feeling of just obstacles, hurdles, a lack of progressive forward motion, and almost like very, very little to no cooperation, seeing eye to eye, understanding. Communication is out the window. Working with people for common goals is not moving anybody in the direction that they want to go. And it's probably creating some tension between you and the people who you have been working on these projects and these efforts with. The oracle card that comes along with this is courtship. So, interestingly, this asks to work with other people, but it's almost like bringing it back a few steps, almost to not be so devoted, so committed quite yet. You're just courting this movement. You're not married to it yet. This is still getting to know the energy. So maybe you are so blocked because you are trying to rush forward into something that you're not quite ready to do yet. So work with the energy at the level that it's already at and get to know it a little bit. Pisces, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, is the Empress. You are very connected over this next week to your creative energies, to your divine feminine connection, feeling more grounded, feeling a little bit more connected to your earth energies, Pisces. This is especially beneficial in manifesting your ideas into reality. So you often have a lot of ideas, most likely, but maybe not always the most consistent in making them happen. So this adds a little bit of energy in deepening that connection to your ability to manifest. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Mature Man card, which in one sense asks you to stay grounded and stay a little bit skeptical. Make sure that you are balancing all of this deeply intuitive, emotionally driven energy with logic and reason and understanding. Make sure that the puzzle pieces fit before you decide what the whole picture is supposed to look like. Aries, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the 10 of Pentacles. This is one of the happily ever after cards, one of the deep fulfillment cards and achieving all of your goals sort of energies. So you probably will not be achieving every single one of your goals this week, but you are so on your way to making this happen that you're able to see the development and recognize it and validate it, and you are given this opportunity to really appreciate it and integrate the rewards that you have been earning for all of the work that you've been doing into your life. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is High Honor. And this asks you, Aries, to pay attention to your growth. Pay attention to how far you have come. And if you feel like you aren't making the progress that you want to make, either look at how far you have come and give yourself the credit at that, or make a plan to move forward more. But give yourself the validation to believe that you have got this. Because Aries, you got this. Taurus, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021 is the Tower. The Tower is a chaotic and explosive card that I personally do not see as inherently negative, but it is almost always uncomfortable. So be prepared over this next week to have some of your walls broken down. Be prepared to readjust your boundaries, your priorities, your values, your idea of who you are and the direction that you are going in. And if you have been keeping yourself stuck or staying in place and using stability and comfort as an excuse for rigidity and saying that it's structure, then do be prepared to have some of that structure taken away from you. The oracle card that comes along to help with this Tower energy is Community. And this card reinforces the connections in your life already. So Taurus, you are not alone. You do not have to do this alone. You don't have to do any of this alone. You have got people on your side, people in your corner. People have got your back. So there is this sense of deep support. You've got this web that will catch you if you do fall, if you are blasted out of this tower and you're not quite sure where you're going to land. You don't really need to worry because someone is there to catch you. Gemini, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Queen of Cups reversed. This reversal makes the feelings part a little bit uncomfortable this week. So you have probably got a lot of them right now, Gemini, and over this next week, there is just a sense of difficulty in processing and balancing and integrating and fully experiencing your feelings. You're more likely to sit there and decide what you should feel. And when you are experiencing the feelings as they are, there is a big risk of judging them and trying to redefine them or redetermine them, or decide that you should or should not feel a certain way because, well, maybe you've gone through something before and you know how you should feel based on that. But not every situation, as similar as one might seem, is exactly the same as the one before it. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is toil and labor. And this energy asks you to keep doing it, keep doing the work. It is uncomfortable, especially inner work and work on yourself, on your feelings, on processing and healing and experiencing. It's not pleasant, but there is a need for it to get done. So the toil and labor card comes in to say, just get through it. The soonest you start and soonest you deal with it, the soonest that it is done being dealt with, and you don't have to go through, you will have to do the emotional processing again, sure, but not these specific emotions. Cancer, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Sun reversed. So when the Sun reverses itself, it doesn't always completely distort or imbalance the energy. Some people will say that there is no reversal for the Sun, even if they work with reversals of other cards. So for this one, this is a pretty good week, Cancer. The reversal of the Sun makes it harder for you to recognize the good. The harder for it to be, a little harder for it to be a perfect week. So there's positivity, there is sunshine, there is forward motion and a feeling of personal growth and beginning to connect to your feelings, to connect to positivity, but you're also almost afraid to be happy. You're afraid to let your guard down in case something happens to that happiness. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is Mature Woman, and in this case brings usually a sense of maternal energy. So you're either being asked to reach out to somebody who can give you almost like an advisor role, someone who can give you that gentle encouragement, or even a little bit of tough love, but loving encouragement, one direction or another, that encourages you to see the good. Or this is a need to ground your own energies and be mature, the mature woman, experiencing your feelings, but in a sense that doesn't allow your feelings to experience you. Leo, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Lovers reversed. So there may be some strain on your partnerships this week, some feeling imbalanced and disconnected from not just the people closest to you, but people in general. Honestly, when I see the Lovers reversed, a lot of the time I get a similar vibe as the Hermit, and it's just like not wanting to deal with people, wanting to retreat and get away, and not having the energy to be present in other people's lives, because most likely, Leo, they do not have the energy to be present in yours right now. And there is a sense of imbalance and not wanting to deal with the imbalance. You don't want to be the one to force things into balance. This should be a two-way street. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is, sorry, I slipped this into another spot, so I thought it was lost. The oracle card that comes along with this is Toil and Labor. So the Toil and Labor card comes in when you need to just get the work done. It is uncomfortable, it is unpleasant, and maybe this is why you are separating your energy from other people, and maybe this Toil and Labor card comes in to try and get you to do the rebalancing. So in either case, do a little bit of introspection, Leo, and see how this applies to you, because you may need to just suck it up and be there for other people and do the work that needs to get done. Or you need to suck it up and do the work on yourself and take a half step back from the other people in your life right now so that you can prioritize you. Virgo, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Hierophant. So there is a sense of doing what needs to get done over this next week. The Hierophant is often dictated by tradition, by what society says, by what expectations there are of you that are put on you by other people, or by the path that you are on itself. Not necessarily expectations that you always put on yourself, or expectations from an inner sense. This is usually something a little more external. So you're doing what society needs from you, Virgo. You are doing the work that needs to get done because somebody else needs you to be there for them. There is a sense of selflessness over this next week, and using your powers to be there for other people rather than focusing on your own growth. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Privileged Lady card. And so this can mean a couple of things. In one sense, it can mean check your privilege, be mindful of what powers you have, and check in on how you're using them. That is usually the other meaning of this card, is in making sure that you are using your privileges, your abilities, your platforms to either develop what you need for yourself, or to develop what is best for the world around you. And in the case of pairing this with the Hierophant, it seems a little bit more like the latter. Another interpretation of this is getting help from somebody with more standing, with more power, more money, more privilege than you have. So if you are in a position of needing somebody else to come in and help you do the work that you are doing, then don't hesitate to reach out. Libra, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Five of Swords reversed. You are winning, but at what cost? So there is an energy of victory at this, but there's a bittersweetness that comes along with it. Like, yes, I won, but either people aren't giving you the validation that you need. They're just saying, cool, good for you, and walking away. They may feel like you are beating them at their own game. Or you are wondering, is the prize worth the fight? Was the prize worth the battle in the first place? Is it worth all of the burned bridges and the stress? Now that you are coming to the end of this stress period, you are definitely wondering if all of this stress was worth it. The oracle card that comes along with this says that it probably is. Distant Horizons is about moving forward, leaving your past behind. Usually we need to leave something behind in order to be light enough to move forward to that next stage. You can't run if you're over encumbered. So put some stuff down that you can't use, that you're just carrying because you picked it up somewhere along the way and never thought to throw it out. In the sense of the reversed Five of Swords, yes, it's worth it. And leave behind the stress that you have dealt with and the ordeal itself, so that you can move towards the rewards and the victory and this renewal of your own self. Scorpio, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021, is the Nine of Pentacles. There's a lot of growth for you happening. You might not be fully aware of it, but there is a sense of appreciation at knowing that something is coming. There is a tranquility and a sense of peace and a sense of watching your garden grow, watching things develop, and not necessarily having access to what is coming to you quite yet, and being okay with that because you're still experiencing the pride in watching the growth itself. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is Pathway, which is about forward motion, being guided forward towards your highest good. This is still up to you to take the steps forward. So as you are observing this growth and watching the manifestation come to life, it is still up to you to put things into motion for those last steps, to actually make it happen. It's still up to you to go into your garden and harvest things to bring them in for use. the appreciation is great, but you are coming up to time to doing the work again. Sagittarius, your tarot card for the week of January 17th to 23rd, 2021 is the Four of Cups. Pay attention to the blessings in your life, Sagittarius. Not everything is stagnant and boring. The Four of Cups comes up when we do not validate the good in our lives, when all we can do is pay attention to what isn't really working or what has been working but isn't perfect. So there is this sense of like staying in an imperfect situation when perfection is being offered to you because you don't want to pay attention, you don't want to listen to universe, you don't want to do the work, you don't want to experience the change, you don't want to risk losing the sense of comfort in case that shiny gold tarnishes and wears away. So there is this sense of sitting still when real blessings are trying to be offered to you right now. And the oracle card that comes along with this is great fortune. So Sagittarius, take that cup. Take that fourth cup. You're not being greedy by reaching out and taking what you want. You would be if you were hoarding everything that you gathered, but that's not necessarily what has to be the case. If you reach out and take what you want, yes, you may need to let go of something that you already have, but that was probably a better thing than you realize. That opens up space in your life for all of these blessings. So if you're really holding on to something that doesn't matter, this is a good week to pay attention to whether or not you should still be holding on to it, because something really good is being offered to you right now, and you should probably make room for it. At the end of my readings, I like to pull a card from my favorite manifestation, motivation, affirmation deck, the Super Attractor. So I have pulled one card for everyone who joins me for this weekly video to give us an idea of what to carry within ourselves, how to focus our energy throughout this week. And the card that I have pulled says, when I make joy a priority, brilliant ideas will come naturally, support will surround me, and movements will form. When I make joy a priority, brilliant ideas will come naturally, support will surround me, and movements will form. So to me, my interpretation of this card is that when I make joy a priority, when I consciously focus and prioritize joy, focusing on the things that make me happy, prioritizing doing the things that bring joy into my life, brilliant ideas will come naturally. I have great ideas without needing to force them. Support will surround me. If I'm doing what I love, then I'm probably doing it with the people that I love. And movements will form. If I am prioritizing joy, this elevates my vibration. This allows me to move forward without being blocked by misery or stubbornness or anything. I can just, even if there is sadness, if I'm prioritizing the joy, the sadness isn't holding me back. So that's my interpretation of this card. Affirmations can be a little bit personal, so what this says to you could be totally different from what I just said. And if it is, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know your feelings with this card. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I hope that the readings in this video have been resonant and that they can provide just a sort of helpful, relevant compass to offer guidance, insight, whatever it is that you need to get through the coming week. Please like the video if it sang to your soul, if it resonated with you. Let me know in the comments what stood out, what you thought of the cards that were pulled for your sign, what you thought of the Super Attractor at the very end, and what you'd like to see in the future, if there are any sort of card spreads or decks you want to look at, any sort of guided meditations or walkthroughs on that sort of stuff. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I upload weekly forecasts and monthly forecasts too, to give us an idea of what's coming, how to work within it. And there's going to be all sorts of new stuff coming this year. We will just have to see where that path leads us. I hope that you join me on that journey. It's going to be a fun one. And I'll make sure to leave a link to my Facebook page in the description down below. If you follow me on Hedgewitch Hearthcraft on Facebook, I pull a daily card to give us an idea of how to reach our own personal highest good, and that is the best way to ever get in touch with me if you want to book a reading of your own, or if you ever just want to ask me a question. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and be good to yourself.